All right, welcome back, everybody. So I think a lot of you know, you've heard me say that I'm not huge on slow cooker meals. I 100% get the convenience of them, but everything I ever learned in, cooking school or working for chefs is all about building flavor. You want to start with this and then add this and build the flavor. And in real life, that's how I cook. But there are loopholes for me. There are some recipes that I have found over the years just work really, really well in a slow cooker. So when you see me on this show make something in a slow cooker, you know this is tried and true. So what I'm going to be making today is a creamy chicken and wild rice soup. Super, super simple, basic ingredients you probably already have at your house. But this is one of those recipes that I make and my family loves, and I always have in the slow cooker if someone's coming over to babysit, especially if my dad and stepmom come over, they love this soup. So I always have it in the slow cooker ready to go. So there's a couple tricks to this that I find make life easier. We are chopping a bunch of vegetables today, so what I usually do is I do them the night before. And that way in the morning, I'm packing lunches, I'm putting the dog out, I'm, trying to get ready for my day. This way I can just dump them all in the crock pot. Just dump them in, throw the chicken in, and call it a day. So I do like to do the prep for this a little earlier because it is fresh veggies. And the veggies that I use in this, very classic with the onion, celery, and carrot. We're used to that. Let me turn my heat up a little bit here. We're gonna make a little roux. But I'm also gonna add some zucchini in here. If you watch this show at all, zucchini is one of those vegetables I sneak into everything because my children don't taste it and it just blends into food really well. So I add a little zucchini. You don't often find that in a wild rice soup, but here we are. So it's gonna be a carrot, zucchini, onion, and some celery here. So the reason that I make this soup and that I love it so much is I grew up with divorced parents. And when my dad would pick me up on Tuesdays, a lot of times it would be either we would go to his house and he would make something really simple for dinner, or, and I thought he was the best cook, right? Because he made fish sticks and mac and cheese and, kid food that I just loved. Or we go to Burger King, but every once in a while, he would take me to a place on the east side of town called Gipper's. And I don't know if you remember Gipper's. I think it actually closed within the last year or two, but we would go to Gipper's and we would go there because they had this chicken and wild rice soup that we would joke around about, that you could put your spoon in it and it would stick straight up. It was like that really thick chicken and wild rice soup, and we just loved it. And we didn't go out to dinner often with me, growing up, and that was a really special treat to go to Gipper's. So this soup brings back all the feels. All right, so I'm just gonna use, that was kind of a large zucchini. I'm gonna go a little bit, not use the whole thing. I'm keeping all these veggie ends and everything, putting them in a bowl because Sarah likes to feed the deer, honey, so we're gonna send her home with some scraps. Now this is you don't have to saute a darn thing. This is one of those, just dump in the slow cooker and go. But to the side here, I'm not gonna add the cream and everything in right now to make it creamy. That's a last minute addition. So for right now, I'm just gonna get the veggies in. I wanna make sure that you're noticing this is a Hy-Vee recipe, so make sure to scan that QR code. That's gonna go ahead and get you showing all their specials and their perks and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so we got some celery, carrots, zucchini. Now, while I'm gonna pause on that for a minute because I'm gonna start working over here. This is what you're gonna do at the end of the cooking. You're cooking done, you're home from work, this is how you finish off the soup, and then I'll come back to the veggies. I have a half a cup of butter in here, unsalted butter. We're gonna add a little flour in there. We're gonna thicken this soup up with our own little roux, so I'm gonna let that cook while I just chop up our onion. All right, so for our onion here, I use brown or yellow onions 90% of the time when I'm cooking because I just find that they just cook the best with my food. So that's what I'm using right here. As always, go ahead and let the lines tell you what to do. Cut straight down those lines. Quarter turn, straight down. Keep your fingers out of the way. I hear you sizzling over there, I'm coming. Then roll your knife through. All right. Let me give this a little whisk here. We're just looking to cook that flour out because I do not want a pasty soup. Nobody likes a pasty soup. All right, let's do the other half of my onion here. Quarter turn, fingers out of the way, straight down. Beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and get our onion in the slow cooker. Now everything else is easy. That was just the high maintenance part of it. It's just the veggie chopping. But now that I see you all on social media practicing your knife skills all the time, which you tell me, I'm sure you do it nice and quick. All right, we're gonna pause on that for a minute. So we've got our flour cooked out here. Let's go ahead and add in 2 cups of milk. The Lamer's milk, honey, and I'm gonna crank that up a little bit. Let's get that nice and thick. Now, in our slow cooker here, let's add some seasonings. I have 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning. Poultry seasoning is something I often will add to chicken pot pies, chicken stews, things like this, because it just enhances the flavor. And I'm gonna do a teaspoon of thyme as well. I've got 2 chicken breasts here, Big Daddies, going in. You can do 3 smaller ones, you can do 4 or 5 chicken thighs, whatever you got around. And then to this, I'm gonna go ahead now. Hy-Vee has their own really lovely wild rice. So I gave that a quick rinse, but we're gonna do 1 cup of wild rice in here. Make sure to rinse it. You wanna rinse that starch off. Let me give this a quick stir. Oh, it's already getting thick. That's what we're looking for. All right, and then finally, I need 6 cups of chicken broth. So 1 box is 4 cups, so let's go ahead and get a whole box in there. There's 1, and then I'm just gonna measure out 2 cups. See how thick this is getting over here while I'm measuring that out? Look at that. She is thick. All right, so I need 2 more cups. Now you're just gonna set this low, slow for 7 to 8 hours, or on high for, 3 to 4, just till the chicken's cooked through. But that's it. That's how easy this is. Now, this is gonna need a lot of salt and pepper, okay? We're gonna get that at the end, though. So we're gonna cover this up, and I'm gonna do a little switch here to show you how to finish this soup off. Oops, let me unplug that. I have it plugged in. Hold on. There we go. All right, so now, you can see in here, hopefully you can get that camera angle. Can you get that, Levi, or do you need me to move it? I wanna make sure you get that. See how the wild rice has gotten nice and tender? The chicken in here looks great. I'm gonna shred it up. It shreds really, see that? Oh, it shreds really easily. And all you're gonna do is stir in at the end, at the very end, you made this lovely, I'm gonna come back to that. You made this lovely, thick cream. Look at that, bam. Now you're gonna stir it up and just let it cook for another couple minutes. Let it cook, let it all combine. We'll shred the chicken up a little more, heavy dose of salt and pep, and you're done. It could not be easier. So I hope you enjoy this. I think it kind of lives up to the Gipper's legacy. My dad will approve of this.